Burn my drink. Burn my bread.
This is from the person who said that he sang better than me last episode. Anyways, hello and welcome back. We are going to talk about the characters and storyline of the Persona...
Of the movie specifically.
Yeah, the Persona 3 movies, 2, 3, and 4, but I'm sure we'll touch on 1.
We kind of have to.
Yes. And to start this off, I would like to make a comment here that I think Nick Knack agrees with. The first 20 minutes of movie number 2, so the beach scene and then all of the exposition off the beach, should have been in movie number 1. Like, we should have gotten that exposition about the tower at, like, the end of movie number 1, along with the beach scene. Like, it would have been a decent ending to movie number 1.
Yes.
And then movie number 2 should have spent more time on the dude who was dying with the pills, the kid with the spear. Like, we needed a little bit more, some sort of training montage for the kid, and a little bit of a get to know you, because the tragedy at the end of movie number 2 meant literally nothing, since we only got introduced to them 30 minutes into a film that was the shortest of the 4 films.
Yes.
And then in movie number 3, we kept calling back to the guy who died, but we only got to see him in like 5 scenes in movie number 2, and all of a sudden, we're supposed to feel such tragedy that he died? I don't think so.
Yeah.
He's not even attractive. I can't even say I'm mad because my husbando died. Divisive statement, I know.
It's funny that you mentioned that, since he's an option in the female route.
I mean, I'm just saying. And then movie number 4, I mean, Nick Knack mentioned it. They spent a lot of time moping at the very beginning that should have been sped up a little bit.
Yeah.
And we should have had a little bit more time on, like, training or fighting in between and less time on the moping. But I do like a lot of the elements from movies 3 and 4 involving our NPC protag and his inner voice dude who becomes his outer voice dude.
Pharos is his name.
Pharos. So that is genuinely the only good continuous storyline that runs through all 4 movies.
Yeah.
You mean Strago wasn't a good storyline?
No. And then everything was invalidated by the shit quality of the last 7 minutes of film 4.
Alright. We've been alluding to that so much. Do we want to get the great last 7-minute debate going?
Oh my god, so we go into this final boss fight with this CGI dude that looks really uncanny and unnerving. It's actually kind of awesome. It's like Nyx, basically, you know? Greek goddess, yada yada, look her up. Anyways, it's like Nyx, and it's actually a really good fight, you know, and the character has some the character has some like serious realizations and like self-actualization. And then we have this great moment where like the next time we see them, they're like at graduation and they're making some comments like they don't know each other and like nothing has happened in the previous year, so they've lost their memories in some way, right? And ending it right there with like them meeting one another and being friends but not remembering everything they've gone through would have been a good ending for me, right? Like, I actually kind of like that. I was like, you know, it's actually really funny that they kind of like don't remember anything, but they're still friends. They beat the final boss, yada yada yada. And then God. And then something is God, and somebody's dead, and everything is nothing, and the ultimate question of existential existence is answered, but not in a way that we understand, and not in a way that they ever clarify to us, and I just don't like it.
I thought it was love was the answer.
No! Some existential bullshit.
Alright. Do we want to start with what I think the ending meant, or do we want to start with why I love this ending on an uwu level?
So I can tell you why Nick Knack likes this ending on an uwu level. Because God.
You don't know how many JRPGs from that era just end with suddenly God.
Which I don't understand.
Suddenly, like, they could have the most human threat all the way through, literally just like you're fighting the Empire kind of thing. And then in the last 5 minutes, God appears to fuck your day up and shit in your salad.
This was such a weird appearance, too, because we already knew that, like, Nyx was, like, a goddess. Like, she was, like, really powerful and shit. But then, all of a sudden, an NPC-kun's inner-outer voice, what's his face?
Ryoji.
Is, like, God. And he's on NPC-kun's side. What the fuck, Ryoji? You are just God now? I dislike this. Also, it's Ryoji fighting against Ryoji, except it's Ryoji God fighting against Ryoji Nyx.
Yeah.
And, like, what the actual fuck? And they keep going on about, like, the question of... What was the question called?
The answer to life.
Yeah, it was like...
The great question of life.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, I'm sure you know the answer now, But what the fuck was the answer?
Well-
if you're gonna make a big deal about it, it is such a fucking cop-out for you not to give an answer that people can then get existential about.
Yeah.
Let me try to break it down here, and then I will go from taking the I love this ending side, explaining why this ending is shit.
So you're gonna hold this debate on your own.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay.
Well, I think the ending was going for... The entire story had this, like, idea of death. Coffins everywhere. And then the great question to life. I could have thought... If I had thought of this in the moment, when I thought of this, like, after the film was over, I was like, wait a minute, that's the great question of life. It's, what's the point of life if we're all just gonna die? That's the big question of life that involves the theming of death.
Food.
I mean, yes.
The answer is food.
But Nyx sort of represents the void, based off Seki's, what she was telling me, it's
Yeah,
the void,
Nyx,
the nothingness.
Nyx is darkness, basically.
Yeah.
In, like, Greek mythology, she's, like, traditionally the mother of, like, Erebus and Thanatos. And, like, she's present in the universe along with, like, Uranus and, like, just plain darkness.
Uranus.
Fun fact. That persona that the protagonist summoned towards the end there, not the big glowy one, but the one that he was using to fight the big CGI monster, was Thanatos.
Yes, we got that.
Okay.
He also summoned Siegfried and a couple other characters.
Yes.
And then at one point their personas just straight up merged into Athena and Ares.
But the answer to
the
that
other two.
question of life,
Yes.
I think, was the purpose of life is to spend it with the people you care about. Because that was at the ending where he was, I think he died.
I looked it up,
As
he
his
died.
friends all came to him.
I looked it up. He
I
dies
will say
like a
yeah.
month after the ending.
Yeah. Yes, he does die. I
Yeah.
will say that. I will say that much, and also I will correct you. The upgrade, it was Athena, but the other one was actually Caesar.
I now have like an actual bone to pick with this series because I think it's such a cop-out that everything is Greek except for Caesar and Siegfried.
I think
Such
that
a
was
fucking
just a choice on the movie, because there's a lot more in Greek.
There's
than
also
this.
a lot
Like you could have stuck with the Greek theme all the way through, except at one point he summons Siegfried, who's not Greek, and then apparently it looks like
I
Ares.
mean, he also summoned Surt.
Oh yeah, back at the
Yeah.
beginning. But I mean, like everything else has this like really good Greek theme, you know.
He also summons Jack Frost.
Well, one
Okay.
of them does.
Outside of NPC bitch. Outside of NPC bitch, everything else has like a really cool Greek theme, you know?
Yeah.
Like I was actually really hoping that was Ares, because Ares and Athena would have been a cool
And
combination.
then Mitsuru's persona, unupgraded, was Penthesilea. I don't know.
Which is a Greek figure!
Okay, I didn't know Penthesilea.
Penthesilea.
Or
She was an
Penthesilea.
Amazonian queen.
She actually pronounces it Penthesilea in the game.
But
which
yes,
is the
they
fun
pronounce
part.
a lot of things wrong in the game. But that's not something that we can blame on them because they are trying to turn ancient Greek names into Japanese pronounceable.
Yes.
And then into English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, that is just the Greek name. They're not
Oh.
turning the name into English.
Yeah.
They're taking a Greek word and trying to pronounce it in Japanese. And that is inherently going to have issues, you know?
Yeah.
That's why you get Siegfriedo
Yes.
instead of Siegfried.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes. But I mean, you had like a stunningly good kind of unified theme of like a fuck ton of Greeks.
Yeah.
And you fuck it up with Caesar? Like, what
Yeah.
in the actual bullshit?
This is an exclusively Seki problem, by the way.
Yes, very much so.
Okay, I can hold on to my petty little grudges if I want.
Oh yeah, no, she definitely does. You should see her rage against the calendar.
I hate that fucking calendar.
Very
If-
much an in-game mechanic.
If one part of these movies, like if I could physically spit on whoever chose to put that fucking calendar in,
It was in the game, too.
I would. I don't care about it in the game. In the game, it makes sense. I have played games with day-by-day mechanics. But we're sitting here watching 4 movies that take place over the course of the year. And there's one part in movie number 3 where it straight up skips an entire month. It's just like, it was October 8th. Now it's November 18th. Like,
Yes.
what in the actual just show us a montage. Like, show us a few scenes of time passing. Don't show us a fucking on-screen calendar and just say, hey, it was Friday, now it's Monday. Or, hey, it was a month ago, now it's a month later. Show us something. You could have used that time to put in montages that would have then fleshed out the characters that we didn't get to see doing normal things. Like, you could have shown us a montage of, like, the kid getting some training and fighting with them instead of skipping 3 weeks on the fucking calendar.
They did it once and won the movie.
No, they didn't! They always used the calendar if it was longer than a day. There was one time where it literally skipped 1 day overnight and they used the calendar in the fucking hot springs. It literally went from one night to the next day, and they used the fucking calendar.
Well, they use the calendar for every day.
But they couldn't just like. Oh.
The best part is that if I correlate some of the scenes to the in-game events, some of it's actually not even accurate.
I don't care if it's accurate. I don't care that the calendar is in the game. It works in the game where you're playing through 80 hours of story and you can do things day by day. But it doesn't work in the movie. It's cheap. It's lazy. They could have used that screen time to actually flesh out characters so that we gave a fuck when they died.
I think another workaround that they could have done with this is instead of showing the whole ass calendar, they could have just, like what you're saying, instead now, but they still wanted to show time progression, just put the month and the date in, like, the top left or right of the screen.
Yes.
And then just had that move forward when the day changed.
Yes. Literally anything other than a black screen with a fucking calendar on it.
I think that's literally the exact calendar from the game.
Yeah.
Too.
It is, actually. It's the best part.
That is the worst part of these movies.
Because it's fan service. That's the main thing.
Here's the problem. This is actually a huge piece of fan service that if you're a fan of the game, you'll be happy to see. But if you're like Seki and you're starred by other movies that have used that kind of thing as a cheap get out of jail,
500 Days of Summer.
as a cheap get out of jail free mechanic of having to use good storytelling to progress time, it comes off as a lazy, cheap cop out.
Well, but the other thing is, like I mentioned about movie number 2, like, I didn't care about that kid and the guy who died, their storyline, right? Imagine if instead of having a month skipped by calendar, we had gotten, like, a short scene of, like, the kid training or having fun with the other members.
I actually disagree with you on that specific point. This is not me teasing you for calendar. I'm going to tease you about the calendar separate of this regardless.
We'll do that in the extras.
But that particular plotline, I had the same problems you had, where it felt very rushed to the, oh my god, he killed his parents kind of thing. I don't think that would have been fixed if the kid had a training montage. Because I think that's a little bit more of the problem, not fleshing out the relationship between the two.
I just mean I would have cared about the kid more at all if we had seen him. Like, okay, so literally, we were introduced to this kid in movie number 2, right? They save him. He sits on the couch with the dog. They're way more interested in the dog. He sits on the couch and goes...
We're way more interested in the dog, too.
Yeah. He sits on the couch and goes, I want to fight with you. And then there's a calendar skip, and then he's got a spear, and he's just as powerful as the rest of the characters and is wielding it.
No training montage, just powerhouse.
Yeah, it doesn't... Like, literally, all I needed was, like, just a shot of, like, those week or 2 or 3 in between where him like, hanging out with the other characters. Just interacting with the other characters, because literally all we saw was this kid on a couch, and then all of a sudden he's fighting with them like a comrade and is an important part of their group. Like, what the fuck? I'm sure in the game they flesh it out a little.
A little, yeah.
So, one scene. All I needed was one scene to give a fuck about this kid. But I didn't get it.
Do that.
They could not even do that. This has nothing to do with my opinions on, like, the final fight and whether or not I care that whatever his name is killed his parents. This is literally the kid. I mean, we get more care and screen time for the dog. All hail Koromaru.
Yes.
Okay,
Koromaru
but
is
also,
amazing.
I would riot if we got less screen time with the dog. I'm going to be real here. That dog is the best part of that movie.
Right? The dog is the absolute best. Anyway, I sidetracked you. I am sorry.
No, I managed to get the meaning of life out there.
Oh, okay.
All I was going to say after that is just the reason why I think the ending is ultimately shit is because although there's this big, giant, thematic, like, payoff there, the actual build-up to it and the actual fleshing that out in the narrative itself is kind of awful.
Yeah, it's weird because I feel like we get too much screen time on certain things like the moping and then not enough on actually seeing these characters, like, live their lives. Like, I get that, like, NPC main character Kun, I keep calling him NPC, so that's just what I'm gonna go. So NPC Kun, he, I get that over the course of 4 movies, he's, like, learning that the meaning of life is to, like, enjoy it with other people. But the problem is, in the first 3 movies, we don't really see a lot of scenes where he's enjoying life with his friends. Like, we don't actually see him making a lot of that breakthrough. It just seems like he realizes it one day after talking to the girl, who is my waifu. But I feel like his journey would have been, like, augmented really well if we'd gotten, like, one or two scenes in movie number 3 of like
We got
going
a lot
out
of
for
scenes
ice cream.
of that in movie 3. That's basically the entirety of movie 3.
But then we had the first 2 movies where there was
Yeah.
nothing. What if in movie number 2 there was like them inviting him out for ice cream and he didn't agree to go, and then we just saw a picture of the rest of them enjoying ice cream? That would have been really cool, you know? Because then you could have been like, oh look, he's learning.
Do you mind if I do my version of the last 7 minutes?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, so after the boss fight scene right there, where he's fucking going up to the egg thingy, which I assume is fucking God or some kind of birth freaking mother thingy.
There was an egg.
Yes, there was.
Yes, there was.
There was a giant egg in the
It was
sky.
like that
Remember
one scene where
do
he
you
was
remember that
standing in
point
the
where-
void.
Seki, do you remember that point where I said, "What the fuck is that?" And then the character literally said, "What is that?" as soon as I said that.
Yeah, it's like it's crap animation right there. I'm just sorry to say that is crap animation. Unless that was like fucking game stuff.
It
right
was in
there.
the game as well, which is the other part.
Ugh, horrible animation, but not the
Like
point right now.
the egg itself, like you can tell it's an egg in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'll tell.
In the movie,
I'll talk,
it looks like a Death Star.
yeah.
No, it doesn't.
I'll talk about the egg when we get to
Yeah.
the extra section, anyways.
Yeah, and it's like, I think he made like freaking for the elevator scene. I'm assuming he made a contract to go against Fate, with like freaking the old
Actually, if you
nosy guy right
if,
there.
It showed a contract in one of the scenes, and if you caught it quick enough to read it, it said that I agreed to this contract, that my fate is my own to do with as I choose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was something like that. The exact wording was, my fate is my own from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was what it was, and it was actually written in one of. They need to spend like an extra 2 seconds on some of the things where we're seeing like a written contract, so that we can actually read it.
Okay, but also, do you ever actually read contracts?
Also, the best part.
It was 2 lines. I'd read it.
Also, that contract was not even readable in the original game, so they actually added more context in that regard.
See, then they should have stopped it for like half a second extra for us to be able to read it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that contract gave him power to freaking quest God for miracle, because he found out like freaking meaning life was fucking love, which apparently is wrong. I don't fucking know, but
I mean, if Knick-Knack's right and the meaning of life is like the memories you make with your friends along the way, I'm sorry to say, but I think food is a better option.
Ouch, you wound me.
I mean, I love you, but I can't eat you.
I could give so many responses to that, but I don't think I care to give any responses to that.
Look. I love you guys, but I don't need you to survive. I need food to survive. So, like, I mean, I'd sell you for a Diet Dr. Pepper after 8 weeks without one.
Eat to live, not live to eat.
I live to eat.
uh,
I mean, in all seriousness, that is actually kind of a good answer to the question.
Yeah.
Like, if nothing else, it's a meaningful answer, and the story does actually support it. If you really look at NPC and Ryoji
Yes.
and Ryoji going throughout the story,
Yeah.
especially his reactions to Robot Lady at the very end.
I guess my waifu. But anyways.
wait, hold on. I still
Yes.
gotta go. So after contract, I'm pretty sure he fucking ascends. I don't know. I don't get any more fucking understanding
Well,
of that.
I'll explain
Yeah,
in the extras.
you hold off right now. And then fucking pretty much he doesn't exist anymore because he fucking ascended right there for some fucking weird reason. And then
He
we
didn't
skip
ascend.
to... I'm just saying.
I know.
Like, yeah.
I know what you mean.
And then like we
skip a
cut
month.
to the graduation.
Graduation.
And then like I'm just assuming from context, like Aegis, the AI mecha robot warrior thing,
Yes.
yeah, learned the like love reason as well, and like freaking used her power of wishes to fucking bring both of them fucking back or remind everybody. That's all I fucking got.
I'm
from
internally
last 7.
laughing right at your response, but
That
I'll
is
explain that in a
very
minute.
different from what I thought happened.
I'll explain that later
Yeah.
as well. But okay, I will say this much before we get into the next
Oh my god,
section.
no! You have
But-
fulfilled your quota of saying I will say this much now. You have fulfilled your
You
quota.
get this last one.
Knick-Knack is right.
Woo! Yeah, baby.
Oh my god, peek the mic, would you?
Woo!
Fucking hell.
Uh,
Anyways,
This
Yeah.
mainly comes from Knick-Knack knowing the JRPG stereotypes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason why I was like this is because fucking movie 1 was so confusing that I ended up just being so confused during like 2 was like
You
what
could-
the fuck. 3 and 4 were
No,
like, what?
You could absolutely just watch movies 2 through 4 and get an equivalent quality of story.
Yeah.
You don't need
You could
movie number
absolutely
one.
skip one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like arguably movie number 1 has literally nothing important in it.
Yeah.
Literally nothing.
And like also none like
You
the
mean
characters-
approximately nothing.
No,
Yeah.
literally nothing. Because anything of note that happened in 1 was repeated or talked about again in 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah.
So literally nothing.
Also,
It's got a
characters
sick
had no
recreation
substance.
of Burn My Dread, though. That's worth
No.
something.
Yes, it is.
No!
Yes,
hold on.
it is.
Vorn.
Uh-huh.
Vorn's been talking. Hold on.
Characters had absolute no substance. Like, why should I feel sad for this fucking man? Or why should I feel sad for the child? Or why, like, fucking should I care about why the girl died? Actually, no. Girl dying.
Oh my god, boy.
I know, unnecessary noise. Would you like me to throw the table behind my shoulder as well?
Okay, there is one character moment that actually meant something.
Well, actually, no.
emotionally.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
no, the girl dying did give me a little bit. But, like, slight.
No,
Otherwise, no.
the only emotional bit that got to me was in movie number 3 when what's her face dies and Baseball Boy is
Oh,
so
Chidori.
sad.
Chidori,
and,
yeah.
and Baseball Boy, because
Yeah, good for
consistently since movie number 1, Baseball Boy has the most character. Like, he has a personality.
Yes.
No one else has a personality, but he does, and it's so sad.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, that made me
Yes.
upset. Like, of all the characters, he is the only one that is valid.
He's the only character arc you were mildly invested in.
Because he's the only character arc.
Yes.
You say this like there are other character arcs.
Oh, there are, but I'm thinking about this in the context of the game.
Yeah,
so-
not in the movies.
So-
Not right
yeah,
now.
but not in the movies.
I feel it's getting dangerously close to waifu war, so first I want to give my anti-waifu.
Okay,
I'm very
anti-waifu.
curious.
Strega. I fucking hate Strega.
Which
They
one's
contribute
Strega?
nothing
They're-
to the
it's-
story.
Chidori,
Rich Jesus
Jin,
guy.
and Takai.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus
Jesus
guy.
guy and Green
Yeah.
Jacket guy.
Fucking no backstory. It's like, wait, what? Why should I? Why are they evil? Why
They
am I
just
mad at
appeared.
them? What?
In fairness, they're kind of the same quality in the game, so their qualities villains doesn't really change between.
Oh my
What?
gosh.
They're as bad as they are in the games
Oh.
as they are in the anime.
Look,
Yeah.
Jesus dude is weird. We don't get anything.
Revolver Jesus is also his name by the community.
I appreciate that. That's an unfortunate coincidence.
Yeah. Look, we get these villains in the second movie, and they don't really do anything.
They
and
just
they're-
show up to
Except
shoot
for
people
Chidori,
sometimes.
she helps Junpei's
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, Junpei, that's his
The
name.
thing is, I didn't even realize two of them were dating until like fucking the hospital scene. It's like, wait, what?
They're not dating.
They're not dating. They're
Vorn, nobody in this movie is dating anyone.
I didn't.
Literally
tell
nobody.
shit.
Literally
That's the
nobody.
problem.
nobody.
Nobody is in a
If,
official
any,
relationship.
if anyone was in an official relationship, the fans would riot.
Yeah, you cannot do that.
And
That
sorry,
is
but-
illegal.
It's like I can't tell shit about what's going on. That's how messed up the story is for me, and how confused I was. I
Yeah.
can't tell anything almost.
And also whether or not it was intentional, that one line made by Yukari where it's like, if you tell anything about that, we're through. It makes it sound like they're together, even
Yeah.
though they're not.
Being fair, in the context of the game, they're all dating NPC at this
Yeah, at this
Yeah.
point, but that's the game. We'll talk about that. in
Look,
the
okay,
after
let's
section.
just get to waifu wars at this
yeah,
point.
let's get to waifu wars.
I feel like Realm is literally salivating to tell us everything we got wrong that's different in the game. So, waifu wars, knick-knack.
Waifu wars.
No.
No
No.
cheers.
This doesn't deserve it.
Fair
No,
enough.
Not really.
There aren't waifus in this.
The song Mass Destruction.
Yeah!
Born?
If I could throw a chair against the wall, I probably would, because I'm so fucking confused, and I couldn't fucking choose the waifu to do my infusion. If I had to, I guess like the vice president.
Oh, okay, so
student council
Mitsuru, red hair?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not like it's one of the side characters.
Oh, one of the side characters.
Yeah.
Oh, that's, I can't remember her name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yes, I know, but this is because of my confusion. That's who my waifu is. Realm.
Alright. I already mentioned mine, I guess. So, robot lady.
Oh my god, she was the worst. Mine is Elevator Lady from movie number 4, who literally axe kicks shit into the NPC character's head.
Elizabeth is amazing. I
Yeah.
love Elizabeth.
She literally kicks his head out of his own asshole. I love her.
Fun fact, she's an optional boss fight in the game.
And she kicks your asshole too.
Oh yes, really.
What do
really
you do
hard
to get her as a boss in the game? Like, how many bad choices do you have to make?
It's not even a bad choice. It's just an optional quest.
No, that's weird. Anyways, with that being said, join us in a couple days to hear Realm tell us all about the game that I really don't care about. Like, comment, subscribe.